Dennis Amakri is a former director at the DSS. He joins us virtually. Mr. Amakri, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
I also have joined us Nasser Suleiman, is a public affairs analyst, joining us from Abuja studios. Thank you, Mr. Nasser, for coming on the program.
Thank you. Thank you
Mr. Amakri,
very
let
much.
me start with you. You are the intelligence guy. You're one of the people who go to you're one of our first port of call when we want to ask questions about intelligence and all of that. So two things I want you to respond to as quick as you can. One, what is your impression of the new defense minister and what your expectation will be? But in addition to that, success of attacks and even killings and rampaging, whatever it is that these terrorists are doing, we can classify it as maybe failure of intelligence, because if there was intelligence to prevent it, it won't happen. So we are more reactive. Why is that?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. You know, these past 2 weeks, or is it 3 weeks now, has been very, very exciting. You know, very, very exciting because there's a flurry of activities, and then, of course, everybody's excited. Things are happening. The government are suddenly waking up, you know, and then things are happening. So it's okay. That's how it should be. Now, first of all, you asked about the former CDS, who is now the Minister of Defense. I think, like everybody says, it's a square peg in a square hole, or a round peg in a round hole. It fits that position. It fits it. Because the requirement for that position, of course, is many. Strategic leadership, and then, of course, military background. And actually, when you come to, you refer to the president as commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And the Minister of Defense will necessarily be the second, you know, the vice commander-in-chief of the armed forces, because he is the one. And of course, his role mainly is to advise the president. And he's been in government before. He knows all the people that are there. I know that he's going to create a very good network between his office and the National Security Advisor and the armed forces themselves, the Army, Navy, and Air Force. And then, of course, security agencies, which is very, very familiar with them. So I think this appointment was very, very well done. It's a well done appointment, fit for purpose, unlike some that we have had that don't even have an inkling of what defense is supposed to be. And I think those are the things that we should be looking at. When you appoint somebody, they should be fitting that position, not because of politics, you know, but because of what they are supposed to do in that position. The second one you're talking about is, why are we having a flurry of attacks after the announcement of President Trump of America? And then you have all these attacks. You know, they are attacking Christians. The Americans said that there's genocide against Christians in the country. And then, of course, what do we see? They now start concentrating on churches. And then, of course, going to children, schools, Christian schools, and kidnapping people. Basically, I think if you are connecting the dots, you find out that what they're actually doing is scare tactics. They are scared. You know, they are trying to, you know, kidnap these children and use them as human shields. And so that in case they are being attacked, they will now use them. And then, of course, the collateral damage is going to be high. But that's the tactics they want to use. And I think it's known. But I have news for them. if the Americans are cooperating with Nigerians and they are going to work using their high-level technology, that's not an issue. They will get them. So these things are happening, and I think the military should be ready to deal with it. We have a new Minister of Defense, and I think he's ready to deal with it, as you can see from the screen.
All right, Mr. Makri, I'm going to take another short break, and when I come back, I'll bring in Mr. Suleiman to also bring in his thoughts on this issue, because we're just trying to look for solution. But we'll be right back after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. My guest, Mr. Dennis Amakri, former DSS director, as well as Mr. Nasser Suleiman, joining us from Abuja studio. Gentlemen, thank you, and my apologies. Brevity is the soul of wit. If you can give me responses in 1 minute each of my questions, so I can take a few more questions before I'm chased out of here by the directors. Nasser, let me come to you. What you make of the same question I asked the former DSS director, Mr. Amakri, that has to do with the warring escalation in terms of abductions. What's your characterization and interpretation?
All right. Thank you very much, and good evening, Nigerians. This interview is coming at the very right moment because right now, a few hours ago, I came out from a National Youth Conference that was organized by the United Nigerian Youth Congress, which is part of our annual conference. And a lot of things have been discussed. And some of them, majority are part of the issue of insecurity and the issue of, those political will to solve some of the country's challenges. So 4 things are happening, and I will quickly explain them. One, there is political. Secondly, there is internal saboteurs. Thirdly, there is lack of political will. And the fourth, there is international conspiracy against the Nigerian state. Let me begin by political. Most of the politicians that we have in Nigeria today will go to any length, whatsoever it is, just to clinch whether their tickets or the positions that they are aspiring to have. And that is why, I forgot to tell you the theme of our program was Nigeria First. And these issues of, someone looking for a position, someone contesting or looking for a position will do whatever it is to sabotage the interests of Nigeria, and to go as any length, to do whatever is possible to make sure that Nigeria never succeeds. Secondly, there are saboteurs within. Those saboteurs within are the ones maybe giving information to those perpetuating all these crimes. Sometimes, there's a conspiracy or belief that if you want to get money, sometimes you have to create chaos. And this is what some of those internally are doing to Nigeria and the challenges that we face. Which thirdly is the issue of lack of political will. Most of our government, most of our people, first of all, they are not even competent. Secondly, they don't have the political will to solve some of this problem. And I will give you an example. This National Youth Conference, we have been planning it for over for months. And there is no minister, there is no senator, there is no member of House of Representatives or any of these big politicians that we didn't invite to come in the issue of this political, in this, national conference. Most of these politicians, sometimes when we go with them, when we go to them, it's either they tell us to either enter their party
I
or
would have
support
to butt
them.
him because of time. Mr. Suleiman, my apologies. Let me butt him because of time and bring in Mr. Makri. I think your thoughts are well outlined. Mr. Makri, as we begin to wind down, because I have just about 1 minute, 30 seconds more, let me allow you to say with that, the issue of saboteurs, a general, a brigadier general was killed, and the suspicion is around saboteurs. What do you make of it? How do we get ourselves out of that quagmire? If you can do it in 1 minute, 30 seconds.
I think that, yes, there are saboteurs. And we should know that, both in the military, in politicians, and they're all over the place. But I'm happy that the new Minister of Defense has said it, that he's going after them. And even besides those, we need to also rein in the financiers and the supporters. Just like your former guest said, I think there is need for this state of emergency to be more effective. There should be arrests. You know, let us not just mention that these people have been identified as financiers and we've not seen any arrest. There should be arrest. And of course, we should create fear in their hearts to make them be sure that they cannot just do anything and get away with it. It is not a situation where you are threatening the country and then nothing is happening to you and then you just move on. I think the government need to stamp its feet down.
Mr. Makri, thank you for just keeping it apt and simple. You owe us more conversations. Of course, you know, we always call on you, but most thank you. Mr. Dennis Makri, former DSS director, as well as Mr. Nasser Suleiman. My apology, we don't have more time to explore your thoughts because of time. Public affairs analyst, thank you. You're a young person, so it's important we bring you to the table because you're the future of Nigeria. Thank you both, gentlemen. Thank you. Appreciate it.